We don't need to go back to last season, but it didn't leave a good taste in anybody's mouth, I assume. Chris told us a couple weeks ago that teams called about possibly trading for you. Where were you in all of this? Did you think you would be back? Did you want to be back? Did you think about the possibility of playing elsewhere?
I mean, it's impossible not to see rumors. Well, I did a really good job of it, but people around me would call me, like, "What's up, dude? I heard you're going here." I'm like, I don't know. Until my agent calls me and he's like, "Hey, here's some things that's going on." It is what it is. It's a business at the end of the day. So, obviously, last year was crazy. Chaos at times, but I thought, the day that Shane got hired, he gave me a call that night, and we talked for 20 minutes, and I thought that was, kind of refreshing in my mind of, I still love this place. It still means the world to me, this team, even though there's been so much turnover and a lot of things I can't control. There's one thing I can control, and that's how I go into work every day, motivated to be the best player I can be, the player I know I can be. So I thought Shane, talking to him, talking to Tony, some of the new guys, Jim Bob Cooter, it was awesome to hear and kind of that refresh that I needed, and definitely motivated me more to go back and be excited for this year. So,
Ryan, when you step back and look at last year as a group, what didn't work?
Well, it's weird. The last 2 weeks we've been looking at a lot. Kind of the install is you look back at a lot of the good things we did, some things that we're just missing on here and there. And I think a lot of the negative kind of clouded our memory of how the year went. It was, for good reason. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I think the eye-opening thing watching those films was we did a lot of great stuff too. Some of it was outside of our control. Some of the stuff that we can control ourselves and just do better, but just miscommunication here and there. It's not that we're not talented players, that we're all not going out there and putting our best foot forward. It's just not on the same page, and so I think that was just highlighted last year, and certainly something that Tony and Chris Watt have definitely harped on so far this year is, I came into the league at a time when the Colts offensive line, for better words, kind of got shit on, right? And in 18 we kind of turned it around. It wasn't anything other than believing in ourselves, believing that we still have this, we can do this. And I think Tony from day one has definitely emphasized that. So that's definitely a big thing for us. And it's just little things here and there, just things to clean up. And maybe it's a different way that it's talked about, different way it's coached, and different, hits guys' brains differently to get to where we want to go. And I know we can do it.
What's your impression of Tony so far?
He's been awesome. I think from day one, he said, that the integrity of the offensive line room is paramount. That's number one, right? You can have the best schemes, you can have the best, guys evaluating defenses, but if you're not collectively 5 as 1, and that room is not a place where you want to go and want to be at, it doesn't matter what you do. So I think that just the fact that he started off with that, the knowledge I have of what makes a great offensive line room tick, he obviously has a very good pulse of that. So that was the first thing that really impressed me. And then B, it's just believing in guys. He believes he took this job because the guys in that room can get the job done. And that belief ultimately transfers over to us. So obviously he's got the knowledge and the scheme that, he wouldn't be in that position if he didn't. But to me, those are the two factors that I think set him apart and really make it, an awesome last 2 weeks and hopefully going forward.
Ryan, we talked a lot about consistency at quarterback. We don't need to go back through the numbers of how many quarterbacks you've had. How important is it to finally have that face and that consistency with the draft coming up?
Yeah, there's obviously uncertainty. Above my pay grade, it's the head man's question for him. But, reality is it's another quarterback that I'm going to have to get used to, right? It's just been kind of my MO since I've gotten here. But I think that there's enough great positivity around the building and around the offense especially that that person, whoever comes in, they're going to be new, probably going to be young. So, the better that you can veteranize, if that's even a word, the offense, right? I think that makes his job a lot easier. So certainly, excited, whoever it is, to pick their brain. I've always appreciated that relationship because I've taken something from each of those guys. Be a little different when he's 21 or 22 years old. Might be at different points in our life, but that's I always heard Vinatieri always say that was the great thing about this game is that as the guys get younger, it keeps you more hungry and keeps you more willing and more happy to come in every day and learn something new and keeps you young. So from that relationship, I'm very excited about it, and it's a clean slate, which is awesome every year.
rookie quarterback do for your responsibilities as a center with a guy who's never seen NFL defenses before?
Yeah, I think easy question is, you're going to have to, it's not going to be Andrew Luck back there, who's already seen 5 years worth of NFL defenses, so it's a little bit different. And I think that the college game is probably a little bit different now than what it was when I came out. So, it's all about relationships. It's a relationship business. So if you can sit down with the guy and build a chemistry, you're able to then now be able to see, like, all right, well, I know the tone of his voice when, if he's not confident about this, I can tell, right? So it's just that gamesmanship of, like, learning who each other are, how you see the game. And so, I'm thrilled about it. It's a new challenge, which every year is, and certainly be something different for me that I haven't really gone through with some veteran quarterbacks in the past, but it'll be exciting.
All any fan is talking about is, what are they going to do at quarterback? Who are we going to get? I mean, how much of that happens in this building? Not that you're asking Chris Ballard or someone else, but just among yourselves. Do you guys talk about that?
No, I mean, I think you probably know the answer. Is like, every year in the NFL, you have no idea what's going to happen. Like, from the time the Super Bowl ends, it becomes right to the combine. It goes right into pro day. Who's visiting who? I visited the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had the number 6 pick. The GM told me at the time, he was like, I don't even know why you're really here because we're not picking you at 6. Which, like, I wasn't a blow to me. I wasn't going that high. But it's the biggest game. It's the biggest game in the world, right? So it's always going to be talked about.
Why did they bring you there?
It was like they brought everybody, right? So, yeah, nothing against the Jaguars. I don't even know who the GM was at the time. But anyways, I say all that because it's like at this point, like, you have a 4-hour day. Like, at this point, the most important thing is how well can you get your body trained, how strong can you get, how fast can you get, mobility, and then for the young guys, like, a lot of the offenses carry over because he came from Philly. But even for me, it's like there's always something that's installed that I forgot, right? Or, like, there's a way that I can get better. I can see what I did last year and say, all right, well, if, like, my hat was 3 inches, further into, his chest, maybe that block would turn out differently. So it's a growth. And then this time I think is always the relationship building part because we've got new guys in here. But, being able to go out there and hit, watch guys suck at golf. Like, that's, you laugh together, like, you work together. This is where you really build a team. So I say all that as, like, no, that's not the emphasis because we know we have no control over that. And in this league, like, all you can control is what you can control. And that's how you come every day for 4 days a week and, like, bust your tail for this team.
Did you have a moment throughout the offseason where you, I don't know, looked in the mirror, reflected just on your individual play and maybe some things that you would have done differently or going into this season? Like, I know the player I have been, and maybe last year wasn't what I've always been. And how was that maybe, I guess, reinvigorated you going into this year?
Yeah, I think everybody does that. Certainly myself included. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like, just the chaos from last year. Like, I wanted to distance myself from football as far as I could. And, like, for me, family is everything. So being with them, like, it also puts them in a predicament because I know they're just dying to ask, like, what was it like, And the last thing I want to talk about is football. But, like, it's coming to the reality of, like, there's things I can control in this life and things I can't. Like, were there plays I wish I could get back? Yes. Is it always as bad as it looks? No. Like, there's always going to be more positives than there is negatives. But unfortunately, like, we're in a business where the negatives outweigh that. So right now, I think for me, it's looking back. When we go through these film sessions an hour and a half a day, like, we forget plays that we just dominated guys. And we're just like, that's the standard of what we should be. And, like, having the new refreshing of coaching staffs in here, I think it just accelerates everybody else. And so for me, like, stepping away from football, thinking, like, all right, I'm going into year 8. I still got this because I just know when I'm training, I've never felt better. It's getting that room back to the tightness it was before, and I think that's what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and we'll continue to keep doing.
I know you guys know. Did you guys lose confidence at times last year, your unit?
I mean, I think as a team, yeah. I mean, just, every individual is going to have those up and down moments, in any sports, but, I mean, yeah, you blow a 33-0 lead, like, what's that say the next week? It's a challenge every week to, like, put that past you, move forward and say, this is a new week. Like, we're still NFL players. We're still very high, talented players. Like, how can we go do this? And sometimes that can get a little washed in the muddiness of the season. So for me, just bringing that cohesion back to the room, I think, is going to build that on everybody's part.